Hello, everyone. I'm Charlie, and welcome back to another Premier League DraftKings Soccer DFS slate breakdown. I had one of the best days ever last weekend on Saturday, so I'm hoping I can kind of create that this week too. And I'm really excited to get back into it after that UCL couple slates midweek. But now back to the Premier League. In terms of the slate, it's a kind of a large one. It's a five gamer, one, two, three, yeah, five gamer. Arsenal are the biggest favorites at minus 300. We also got Tottenham, though, at minus 180 is a pretty big favorite. So those are the kind of two big teams. Newcastle minus 100, too, is interesting. In terms of lineups and set pieces, for Burnley, Josh Brownhill, monopoly in this team, I'd say. We could see good Munson in, and he'd take the majority of sets with a little bit of Brownhill if that was the case. For Arsenal, Saka and Rice split these days, with maybe a little bit of Odegaard on free kicks. Declan Rice had that monster game against West Ham with a goal and two assists. Like he's in really good form right now, and with set pieces, I like him a lot. For Fulham Villa, Pereira most set pieces. I don't want to say monopolies. We see Willian hop on a little bit. We see Kearney take some free kicks, but it's basically a Pereira monopoly. For Aston Villa, Douglas Luiz and one of McGinn or Bailey splitting. They kind of swapped at different points in the season. Luiz is the sure thing though, and then these guys swap over who wants to take with him. And Luiz has pens too, of course. Newcastle Bournemouth, Trippier Monopoly, easily a set piece situation in the league, I'd say. For Bournemouth in this team, it'll be a Tavernier Cook split. If we see Alex Scott in somewhere, he'd be the one splitting with Tavernier, though. So watch out for that. Then for Forest West Ham, Morgan Gibbs White has more or less had monopoly. We've seen Nuno Tavares take a little bit in the past, but not as of late. For West Ham, Ward Prowse on everything pretty much. Now here's Tottenham. The big news recently is Pedro Porro is going to be out the next couple of weeks. And that means James Madison back on set pieces, which is just makes him kind of a lock of the slate, I'd say. Like he's been getting minimum 8 floor without even taking any corner. So now with those, like he's just in a smash spot. For Wolves, Sarabia mostly, maybe a little bit of Neto. If there's no Sarabia, it'll be Neto. And if Tommy Doyle's in, he may split. All right, time to get right into the prices. Most expensive forward, and by some distance, is Bukayo Saka. He's been on really a tear. He's gotten a goal contribution in 5 straight. Even the game he didn't get a goal contribution, he had 23 points. He hasn't had an under 10-point game since Sheffield, like 3 months ago. I'm just plugging him probably. I can't even see much of a reason to fade in GPP. You could make the argument that maybe you just need the value, but I don't know if that 2 to 3K you save going one of these guys is worth the kind of drop off in ability, especially with this matchup against Burnley. Saka, you just plug him, I think. Richarlison, he's been hot. I don't remember. Was he in projected right here? Yeah, he's projected to start the nine. It's probably right. He's been solid too. I don't mind that as a play, actually. I'd play Son over him, I'd say. Look at this. He had an assist in just his 30 minutes since he's been back from international duty. I like Son a lot for 9K. Jesus is questionable. I don't know if they might be an option. Probably will not start. We probably will see Trossard at the 9 for Arsenal again. There's Ollie Watkins for 8,100. For GPP, I think it's all right. I think Arsenal and Tottenham soak up most of the forward ownership. So I think Ollie Watkins will be coming in at a super low number. It might be worth at least playing in a team or two in GPP. There's Martinelli for 7,900. I think that's a bargain. He probably should be a little bit more. He doesn't have set pieces anymore, but he's been doing pretty solidly even without them. I know he didn't get a goal contribution against West Ham when felt like everyone else did. I think it's an anomaly, and I expect him to bounce back against Burnley. There's Gibbs White. I don't think this is the slate for him, I feel like, but it's they're playing West Ham, who tend to be a team that give up possession. Like I could see the argument for Gibbs White. Just I don't know if I see enough upside there compared to some of these other forward options, but potentially. I don't think he's that crazy if you need the 1K difference over a Richarlison or a Son. But then Martinelli's like the same price. I think that's a toss-up. That's an interesting debate whether you go Gibbs White or Martinelli for cash. And Ketia if he plays, I'm going it over in my head. I don't know if I get there. I don't think I don't think I'd play him in cash. GPP, maybe I'd have a sprinkle, but just rubs me the wrong way for some reason. I don't think he's that talented compared to some of these other attackers. Brendan Johnson for 7,200. He wasn't in projected, but if he starts, I like that as a play a lot. He's got a bit of a floor to him. Like he had that 13-point game against Man United. He crosses quite a bit, gets a lot of shots and fouls drawn. For that price, I think that's a pretty good play. The rest of this stuff, not in love with. Timo Werner, same with he's similar to Brendan Johnson, less of a floor, but cheaper. I don't mind that either. Tottenham have a lot of attackers now that Son's back, and they signed Werner, and kind of everyone's healthy now. So there's a lot of options they have and a lot they can do. It makes it a little scary to pick them too because of that, since you know that whoever starts is probably getting 60 minutes and going to get subbed by the next guy up. So I worry about that a little bit. If Kai Havertz starts at the 9, I think that's a great play. Every time he starts at the 9, he just has an insane amount of shots. I don't know why there's such a huge difference whether he's in midfield or striker, but it's striker. He just shoots like crazy. He might not be the most efficient, but like those shot points add up. And this takes one of them to go in, and suddenly he's on like 20 points. So Kai Havertz, if he starts as striker, I'm interested in that for sure. Um, the rest I'm not in love with really. I'm trying to see what bargains I can see myself playing, and there's really not a ton. Likely for me, my four-player pool is probably going to be Arsenal, Tottenham, and then maybe Gibbs White. And then the rest I'm not super interested in. Maybe I'll throw in a Solanke. Maybe I'll throw in a Anthony Gordon. I didn't even mention him, but he's not that bad for that price. But my far and away favorites are Arsenal pieces and Son. Midfielders, there's Odegaard for 8,200. I never mind an Odegaard play, especially in this matchup. He just gets points. He doesn't even need set pieces, really. He gets his key passes, he gets his shots, he gets his fouls drawn. And that just leads to a solid floor, goal contribution, and you're chilling. My favorite midfielder on the slate, though, there he is right there. For 8K, James Madison, it's like they factored in his price as if he did not have set pieces. All three of his game, I don't think he took probably one corner throughout these three games. And just they've all been just monster scores, really, considering he had no set pieces. So James Madison, first guy in for me. There's Trossard. I wish he was forward eligible. I don't like that he's not. For 7,600 though, that's not bad. Like any Arsenal, I think is fine here. Douglas Luiz is too much for me. Like he's been getting these goal contributions every game. I just don't feel like it's sustainable. I just don't, and this still keeps happening. He keeps proving me wrong, but I'll continue going against it, especially in this matchup against Fulham. There's Gio Reyna. Is there even a chance he starts? What a terrible move for him, huh? Can't even get a start in a relegation battle team because the one good player is Morgan Gibbs White who plays the same position. Disaster transfer there. There's James Ward-Prowse. This is a pretty good price for him. It's not a horrible matchup. I just worry about his upside in a slate like this. If it was like a three gamer, two gamer, I'd be happy to go there. But I just feel like I need upwards of 15 here per position, especially at that price. And I'm not saying he can't do it, but I think that I'm more expecting him to get that 10 to 12 score unless he gets a goal contribution, which isn't crazy, but I just think it's a lot less likely than some of these other pieces. There's Tavernier. I don't like the match against Newcastle. He got there against Fulham. I just am not that huge a fan of it, especially considering he's not been going 90 lately. Pereira for 6,500. Now you're starting to tempt me with a player like that for that price. He's got a little bit more upside than Ward-Prowse, I'd say. He's at home. I could see myself getting there for sure. Kulusevski, 6,200. That's really cheap for a minus favorite attacker. He is likely to get substituted, but now that Madison's back, he's back on the wing where I like him a lot more. I think is a little bit more ability to get 4 points that way just through crosses. You're not going to get as many crosses when you're playing in the middle. So Kulusevski back on the wing, hit 5 crosses against Brighton. Like you can see that he's already starting to kind of cross again a little bit. I'm I'm interested in that too. He'll be in my player pool. Cash, I don't know if I'll get there, but I definitely could. The rest of these guys, I'm looking for value now here. Alex Scott, 4,900 is not terrible. And then Lewis Cook, I don't think I'd go there. Same with Brownhill just because of that matchup. Not seeing a ton of value. I could see myself going Jorginho maybe if he plays. He's just Arsenal coverage. Once he starts, he just gets his 4.5 plus for that price. I think is fine. There's Socek. I'd pair him with Ward Prowse in a DPP build. Hope that he gets a goal off of a set piece. So I don't think that's that bad. Hoiberg for 3,500. I think that's all right. That's cheap Tottenham exposure. Same with Bissouma. Anyone on Tottenham or Arsenal I really like here. Tommy Doyle, I don't think I'd get there in this matchup. Then don't love the rest. Maybe Danilo for Stone 3K, I guess I could see myself getting to. I think he took a couple set pieces when he came on last game. I think, maybe not. All right, defenders. Here, Trippier, he's going to be in my court for sure. He's not really competing with any other set piece taking defenders on the slate with no Poro. He probably should still be more expensive than he is. I think he's still mispriced at 7K. He should probably be 9 with his point scoring. If he was a midfielder, I think he would be. They just don't really change defender prices. So Trippier, plug. Digne is getting back from injury. I don't know how many minutes he's in for. If he starts, he probably won't, but that also means that Alex Moreno is in danger of losing minutes because of Dinier coming back, and one will just sub in for the other no matter who starts. Nico Williams at 4,800. He's not been as good as he was at this earlier in the season, but I don't think that's that crazy, especially against West Ham. And if we see Nottingham Forest employ him in a wingback role with three center backs, I'd be more interested in that. Zinchenko. If Zinchenko starts, I'd play that against Burnley. Was he in projected? No. I kind of hope he doesn't. Oh God, QUR is 2,900. Oh, he's so bad, but so cheap. Ben White for 44. That's not bad. Not a ton of really good fullbacks other than Trippier, so I don't mind Ben White. There's Ben Johnson. He's been playing like as a winger. He's been kind of solid, even against Arsenal, where nobody had points for West Ham. He had 6.5. If he's on the wing again, I kind of love that. Winger Ben Johnson. He's just crazy. I don't know why he's playing there, but he's been doing the work for DFS points. Emerson, if he starts at right back, that's a good play too. He had those couple of insane games. I think he was playing right back this game when he dropped 16. Like when he's at right back, he gets points. I know this doesn't seem the most sustainable with eight interceptions and six fouls drawn, but he's definitely a lot more active at right back than at center back where he plays. So Emerson, I think he's probably my favorite or second favorite defender right now, besides Trippier, of course. So I like Trippier. Then I'd go Emerson. I think then Ben White, then Ben Johnson are my top four right now. There's Fabian Schär. He's known to win soccer like just because he's just a goal scoring center back, and those win slates because they're just so mispriced if they score, and they're all cheap usually. So Schär I like a lot as a play with Trippier hoping for a goal off a set piece. Same with Gabriel. These goal scoring center backs are no joke. Like for GPP especially, like they win slates. Tavares for 3,500. I don't think that's that bad. I'd get there too. I like picking against West Ham just because they give up so much of the ball. There's Saliba, there's Romero. I'm fine with any of these minus favorite defenders. Pair him with a set taker, hope for a goal. Like that really is how you win GPPs usually. Our goal scoring defenders. It worked out for me last weekend when I went all those set piece taking ones because they just all had so many points. But that's not always going to happen. There's not like four set piece taking defenders on this slate, which kind of leaves it down to your goal scoring center backs to get those points up. Kivior, I might have to play him. Like if he starts at left back and Zinchenko isn't on the bench, that makes me even more inclined to go him, even though he's just not good. But Arsenal defender for 2,900, like this, he's just the cheapest defender on them already, which makes him have some appeal. Like I could definitely see myself ending up having to go there. But then there's Van de Ven too. There's a lot of cheap defenders here. Kind of plenty of options. It also creates plenty of value too, to kind of cram the attackers you want because of all these cheap defenders you can go. Those are the big ones I'm targeting though. I wouldn't go much lower than Kivior or Van de Ven. Goalie. I like picking home goalies more than away goalies, so I think I prefer. Do I prefer Vicario to Raya? I was gonna say that, but Vicario's got so much more save equity. I don't know. I don't mind paying up here though with those two guys. Hope is out, huh? Still been out. I forgot, but like Dubravka. If it was Pope, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. But in this matchup, I don't mind a Dubravka. Yeah, any of the my favorite goalies, I think are fine. Really, any goalkeeper. Ariel, I think, is good. He had that horrible game against Arsenal. That game, that horrible game against Man United before then, but I just perceive him as a save goalkeeper. I don't know if that perception is wrong or not, but really, there's a lot of good goalkeepers on this slate. There's not like a guy who I feel like this guy's gonna have negative points for sure. Maybe Jose Sa I could see. But yeah, like goalkeeper's crapshoot. We all know this. The core, like, this is gonna be the easiest core I've done in a while, at least in terms of making it. Trippier, Matters, Saka. I'm playing these three guys from here. Don't know what I'm gonna do. If I do like a Martinelli, what does that leave me? Oof, tough, but you can do it. It's all those cheap defenders. But I'm starting with these three for sure. And it's about finding value from there. I think that's going to be the real differential of this slate. But these three, like, I don't know if I remember a slate with kind of three standout locks as much as this one. All right, guys. So yeah, that's going to be it. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out the FSI website. Join the Discord if you want. We cover NASCAR's back in, which I think our guy Mega Ruler covers. I do all the soccer slates, whether that be Premier League, Champions League, or some of those minor leagues like League MX. We got MLS back this weekend. I'm super excited for. And yeah, guys, hope everyone does well and goodbye.